We search for cures in complex machines and distant lands, yet the most profound transformations are often unlocked by what is most simple, most humble, most overlooked. A single root from the earth, a single conscious breath, a moment of true, undivided attention. Most people will only hear the promise in the title and miss the profound practice within the message. The final understanding of this recipe is not a list of ingredients, but a state of being. To skip to the end is to hold a seed in your hand, but never learn how to plant it, forever missing the forest that could have grown within you. Inner landscape. We begin with a common misunderstanding. The title speaks of a recipe of an onion, and the immediate thought is to find a quick solution, a potion to drink that will miraculously solve the deep-seated imbalances in our lives. We are conditioned to look outside of ourselves for healing. We seek a doctor, a guru, a special food, a pill. We believe that the source of our suffering, whether it manifests as a sickness of the body or a disturbance of the mind, can be fixed by an external agent. But this is a limited view. It is like trying to clean a river by picking out a few pieces of debris from the surface while ignoring the source of the pollution upstream. The body is not a machine with broken parts to be replaced. It is a living, breathing ecosystem. It is an inner landscape, and the conditions of this landscape are a direct reflection of our inner state, our thoughts, our emotions, our awareness, or lack thereof. The ailments we name, like diabetes or heart disease, are not the root cause. They are symptoms. They are the visible signs of a deeper disharmony. They are the cry of a system that has been neglected, overburdened, and misunderstood. To truly heal, we must turn our gaze inward. We must become the caretakers of our own inner world. This journey inward begins with acknowledging that the separation between mind and body is an illusion. Every thought we have, every emotion we feel, creates a chemical reaction in our body. Stress, anxiety, anger, and fear are not abstract concepts. They are tangible forces that flood our system with hormones that, over time, create an environment of inflammation and decay. A mind that is constantly agitated, lost in worries about the future or regrets about the past is like a constant, low-grade poison being dripped into our own wellspring. It disrupts the natural intelligence of the body, its innate ability to regulate, to heal, to find balance. The sweetness that becomes unmanageable in the blood is often a reflection of a life that has lost its connection to its own natural rhythm, chasing artificial sweetness in the form of constant stimulation, validation, and distraction. The blockages in our arteries are often mirrors of the blockages in our own hearts and minds, the rigid beliefs, the unforgiven grievances, the resistance to the natural flow of life. Therefore, the first step in any true recipe for health is not to add something new, but to begin the process of purification. And this purification starts in the mind. It starts with the willingness to look at the state of our inner landscape without judgment, but with a simple, honest curiosity. To cultivate this awareness is to become a gardener of your own being. You would not let your garden become overrun with weeds, its soil depleted and dry. So why do we allow our minds to become so? We spend our days consuming information, reacting to external events, and running on autopilot, completely unaware of the quality of our own thoughts. The practice is to simply stop, to create moments of stillness in your day where you do nothing but observe the activity within you. Observe the thoughts as they come and go like clouds in the sky. Observe the feelings that arise in the body, the tightness in the chest, the knot in the stomach. Do not try to fix them. Do not judge them as good or bad. Simply notice them. This simple act of noticing is incredibly powerful. It is the act of turning on a light in a dark room. For the first time, you begin to see what is actually there. You begin to understand the patterns, the habits of thought and emotion that have been running your life unconsciously. This is the first, most crucial ingredient in the recipe. It is not an onion. It is awareness. Without it, any other action is simply guesswork. You are trying to heal a body you do not yet understand and quiet a mind you have never truly met. The onion in our title, then, is a powerful symbol. It is not a magical cure, but a profound teacher. Think of its structure. It is composed of layers, one wrapped around the other, and at the center, a simple core from which the entire structure grows. Our own being is like this. We are covered in layers of conditioning, of habits, of beliefs we have absorbed from our family and society, of identities we have constructed to navigate the world. We think we are these layers. We identify with our job, our possessions, our past stories, our future fears. But these are just the outer skins. The work of healing, of finding true vitality, is the process of peeling back these layers one by one. It requires courage, because what we find underneath may be uncomfortable. It requires patience, because these layers have been built up over a lifetime. But as we begin this process, we start to get closer to our own center, to the simple, silent, and powerful essence of who we are. This is the source of all true healing and strength. The journey to a healthy heart, to clear pathways, to a balanced system is the journey back to this center. It is a path of subtraction, not addition. It is the path of unlearning, of letting go, of returning to the simple ground of our own being. This is the true work. Peeling layers. The process of peeling back the layers of the self is not always a pleasant one. Just as peeling an onion often brings tears to our eyes, the process of looking inward at our own conditioning, our fears, and our attachments can bring forth a great deal of emotional discomfort. This is the point where most people stop. They feel the sting of self-reflection and immediately seek a distraction. They turn back to the external world, to the noise and the busyness that allows them to forget the unease within. But the tears are not a sign of failure. They are a sign of cleansing. They are the release of long-held tensions, the melting of frozen emotions, the washing away of illusions that have kept us small and sick. To heal, we must be willing to sit with this discomfort. We must be willing to feel what we have spent a lifetime avoiding. This is an act of profound courage. It is the warrior's path, not of fighting an external enemy, but of facing the dragons within our own hearts. Each layer we peel back is a habit we have outgrown, a belief that no longer serves us, a fear that has been limiting our potential. It could be the layer of needing to be right, the layer of seeking approval from others, the layer of victimhood, or the layer of cynicism that protects a wounded heart. Consider the onion's layers as the accumulation of your life's experiences, stored not just in memory, but in the very tissues of your body. An unresolved argument from years ago might live on as a tightness in your jaw. A deep-seated fear of scarcity might manifest as a constant tension in your gut, disrupting your digestion. The belief that you are not good enough might be carried as a stoop in your shoulders, restricting your breath. These are the energetic and physical blockages that our title refers to as clogged arteries. They are not just cholesterol, they are solidified patterns of stress, fear, and resistance. Peeling the layer means bringing conscious, gentle awareness to these parts of ourselves. It means breathing into the tension in the jaw and allowing it to soften. It means acknowledging the fear of scarcity without letting it control our decisions. It means standing up straight, not as an act of ego, but as a physical declaration of self-worth, allowing the breath to move freely, cleansing and nourishing every cell. This is not a mental exercise. It is a deeply embodied practice. You are not thinking your way to freedom, you are feeling your way there, allowing the intelligence of the body to release what it has been holding on to for so long. This process requires a quality of attention that is both sharp and compassionate. It is the quality of a loving parent watching over a sleeping child. There is no judgment, only care. As you observe your own patterns, you will see your own foolishness, your own weaknesses, your own contradictions. The temptation is to criticize yourself, to fall into shame or guilt, but this is just another layer, another strategy of the mind to avoid true contact with the present moment. The practice is to meet every discovery with kindness, to see the frightened child behind the angry adult, to understand the protective intention behind even the most destructive habits. When you can hold your own pain with this kind of unconditional compassion, it begins to transform. The hardened blockages begin to soften. The energy that was trapped in maintaining these defensive layers is liberated, becoming available for healing, for creativity, for life. This liberation of energy is the true cleansing we seek. It is the restoration of flow in a system that had become stagnant and rigid. The body knows how to heal itself. Our task is simply to remove the obstacles we have placed in its way, and the primary obstacle is a mind at war with itself and a heart closed off from its own experience. So, the recipe is not something you follow once, but a continuous practice of self-inquiry and release. Each day presents new opportunities to peel another layer. A moment of frustration in traffic is an opportunity to observe the layer of impatience. A critical comment from a colleague is an opportunity to examine the layer of sensitivity and the need for external validation. A feeling of loneliness is an opportunity to sit with the core human need for connection without immediately trying to fill the void. Every moment of your life becomes your teacher. Every challenge becomes a part of the curriculum. The onion, in this sense, is endless. As we grow and evolve, we discover more subtle layers to explore, but the process becomes less daunting. The tears of cleansing become less about pain and more about the sweet relief of letting go. We learn to trust the process. We understand that this peeling is not a destruction of the self, but a revelation of it. We are not losing who we are. We are discovering who we have always been, beneath all the noise and all the armor. This is the path to a heart that is not just physically healthy, but open, resilient, and free. It is a heart that is no longer saved by external means, but is saved by its own courage to be vulnerable and true. Hidden ingredients. Now we arrive at the heart of the matter. If the recipe is not about a physical onion, what then are its true ingredients? We have spoken of awareness, of peeling back the layers, but these are actions, processes. The ingredients are the qualities of being that we must cultivate within ourselves to make this process fruitful. They are not exotic or difficult to obtain. They are available to every single one of us at every single moment. They are the hidden powers within our own consciousness, waiting to be recognized and applied. The first, as we have touched upon, is awareness. But let us be more precise. This is not a passive, sleepy awareness. It is a vibrant, focused, and non-judgmental presence. It is the ability to know what is happening, both inside you and outside you, as it is happening. When you eat, are you aware of the taste, the texture, the nourishment entering your body, or is your mind somewhere else, lost in thought? When you walk, are you aware of the feeling of your feet on the ground, the air on your skin? This quality of presence is the foundation. It is the light that allows you to see the layers you need to peel. Without it, you are living in darkness, a stranger to yourself. The second hidden ingredient is intention. Awareness shows you what is. Intention directs the flow of your energy. It is the conscious choice you make in each moment. Once you are aware of a pattern of negative self-talk, for example, your intention is the choice to not engage with it, to not believe it. It is the gentle but firm redirection of your focus towards something more wholesome, like the feeling of your breath or a sense of gratitude. Intention is the why behind your actions. Are you exercising to punish your body or to celebrate its strength and vitality? Are you eating healthy food out of fear of disease or out of love and respect for the vessel that carries you through life? The intention infuses the action with a specific quality of energy. An action performed with a fearful, constricted intention will have a very different effect on your system than the exact same action performed with an open, loving intention. Cultivating a clear and positive intention is like setting the rudder of a ship. It ensures that your efforts are guiding you toward the harbor of well-being, not just pushing you around in circles in the stormy seas of habit. The third ingredient, and perhaps the one most lacking in our modern world, is patience. We want results yesterday. We want the magic pill, but the layers of the self were not formed overnight. and they will not be dissolved overnight. The imbalances in the body that lead to chronic illness are the result of years, even decades, of accumulated stress and unconscious living. The healing process must be given time. Patience is the deep understanding that nature moves in its own rhythm. You cannot force a flower to bloom by pulling on its petals. You can only provide the right conditions, good soil, water, sunlight, and then allow it to unfold in its own time. In the same way, you cannot force yourself to heal. You can only create the right inner conditions, awareness, intention, self-compassion, and then patiently allow the natural intelligence of your mind and body to do its work. Patience is not passive waiting. It is an active, trusting presence. It is the ability to stay with the process through its ups and downs without giving up when you do not see immediate results. It is a profound act of faith in life itself. The fourth ingredient is consistency. A single drop of water has little effect on a stone, but a steady drip over time can wear it away. A single day of healthy eating or a single meditation session will not transform your life. It is the small, consistent actions repeated day after day that create profound change. This is the principle of cultivation. You are cultivating a new way of being. This requires discipline, not a harsh, rigid discipline, but a gentle, steadfast commitment to your own well-being. It means showing up for your practice even on the days you don't feel like it. It means making the conscious choice again and again to turn inward, to be present, to be kind to yourself. This consistency builds momentum. It rewires the neural pathways in your brain. It retrains the habitual responses of your nervous system. Each time you choose awareness over distraction, you strengthen the muscle of presence. Each time you meet your own pain with compassion, you deepen the well of self-love. It is through this steady daily practice that the recipe becomes a part of you, not just an idea in your head. It becomes your new nature, a state of balance and clarity that you carry with you into every aspect of your life. These are the true ingredients: awareness, intention, patience, and consistency. They are the recipe that cleanses not just the arteries, but the soul. Cleansing flow. Let us speak more directly about this idea of cleansing the arteries. In the physical sense, we understand this to mean removing the plaque that narrows and hardens the vessels, restricting the flow of blood that carries life and nourishment to every cell. But if we expand our understanding, we see that this is a metaphor for a much deeper process. Life is flow. Energy, in order to be healthy, must be in constant, unimpeded motion. The universe is in constant flow. The seasons change, the rivers run to the sea, the air we breathe is in a continuous cycle of exchange. Our own bodies are systems of flow. Blood, lymph, nerve signals, breath, all are in perpetual movement. When this flow is obstructed, we experience dis-ease. A stagnant pond becomes murky and lifeless. A stagnant mind becomes dull and repetitive. A stagnant emotional life becomes heavy with resentment and bitterness. The true cleansing, then, is the restoration of this natural, unimpeded flow throughout our entire being. The primary source of obstruction is not dietary fat, it is mental and emotional rigidity. It is our attachment to fixed ideas, our resistance to change, our refusal to let go of the past. Think of a time you held a grudge against someone. What did it feel like in your body? It was likely a feeling of contraction, of hardness, of tension. You were holding on, and in doing so, you were creating a blockage in your own energetic system. This blockage does not remain abstract. It translates into physical reality. It creates tension in the muscles, restricts blood flow, and places a chronic strain on the heart. The same is true of fear. Chronic anxiety is a state of constant contraction, a preparation for a threat that never fully arrives. This sustained state of alarm disrupts every system in the body, from digestion to immunity. We are essentially damming our own life force. The cleansing is the conscious act of dismantling these dams one by one. It is the practice of forgiveness, not for the other person's sake, but for our own, so that we can release the heavy burden of resentment. It is the practice of meeting our fears with breath and presence, allowing the contracted energy to soften and dissipate. This restoration of flow is achieved through practices that unite the mind and body in harmonious movement. The gentle, mindful movements of practices like Tai Chi or Qigong are designed specifically for this purpose. They are not just physical exercise, they are a form of moving meditation. As you move slowly and consciously, you bring your awareness to the sensations within the body. You begin to notice where the energy is stuck, where there is tension and resistance. And by moving through these areas with gentle intention and deep breathing, you invite the blockages to dissolve. The breath is a particularly powerful tool for this. Most of us live with shallow, constricted breathing, using only the top portion of our lungs. A full, deep, diaphragmatic breath is a powerful pump for the body's energetic and lymphatic systems. It massages the internal organs, calms the nervous system, and floods the body with oxygen and vitality. Simply taking a few moments each day to breathe deeply and consciously is one of the most effective ways to restore a healthy, cleansing flow. Ultimately, the most profound way to maintain this flow is to cultivate a mind that is flexible, open, and fluid like water. Water is the ultimate teacher of flow. It never resists, it yields, it adapts, it finds its way around any obstacle without losing its essential nature. A mind that is like water does not cling to rigid opinions. It is open to new perspectives. It does not get stuck in regret about the past or anxiety about the future. It remains present, responding skillfully to the demands of the moment. It can hold sorrow without being destroyed by it, and it can experience joy without clinging to it. This mental fluidity is the ultimate preventative medicine. It stops the blockages from forming in the first place. When your mind is open and flowing, your emotional life is balanced and resilient. And when your mind and emotions are in a state of healthy flow, the physical body reflects this harmony. The arteries remain supple, the heart remains calm, and the entire system functions with an effortless grace. This is the true meaning of a clean system, not one that is empty, but one that is full of life, moving with freedom and ease. Heart center. We come now to the most vital aspect of our discussion, the heart. The title promises a way to save your heart. We often think of this in purely mechanical terms, as preventing a heart attack, as keeping a muscle strong. And while the physical health of the heart is of course important and is directly influenced by the principles we have discussed, its true significance is far deeper. The heart is more than a pump. In traditions of wisdom across the world and throughout time, the heart is recognized as the center of our being. It is the seat of our deepest intelligence, our compassion, our courage, and our capacity for connection. A sick heart, in this broader sense, is not just one with blocked arteries. It is a heart that is closed, fearful, and disconnected. It is a heart that has been wounded and has built walls around itself for protection. A heart in this state cannot give or receive love freely. It lives in a state of isolation, even when surrounded by people. This is a profound form of suffering. To save the heart is to help it find its way back to openness, to trust, and to its innate state of peace. The modern world wages a constant war on the heart center. We are bombarded with stimuli that pull our attention outward, away from this inner sanctum. We are taught to value the intellect over intuition, competition over compassion, and accumulation over connection. The result is a deep sense of inner fragmentation and anxiety. We feel untethered, adrift in a chaotic world because we have lost contact with our own center of gravity. The practice of saving the heart is the practice of returning home to this center. It is the cultivation of stillness. In the same way that a turbulent lake cannot reflect the sky, a turbulent mind cannot perceive the wisdom of the heart. By creating moments of silence and stillness in our lives, we allow the sediment of our agitated thoughts and emotions to settle. And in the clarity that emerges, we can begin to hear the subtle, steady voice of our own heart. This is not a voice of words, but a voice of feeling, of knowing. It is the inner compass that always points toward truth, toward balance, toward love. This return to the heart's center is what truly protects it from the ravages of stress. When we are disconnected from our center, we are easily thrown off balance by external events. A critical remark, a piece of bad news, a change in plans. These things can feel like tidal waves, overwhelming our nervous system and flooding our bodies with stress hormones. This is what wears the physical heart down over time. But when we are firmly rooted in our heart center, we have an anchor in the storm. The winds of life may still blow, the waves may still crash, but we are no longer capsized by them. We can observe the chaos from a place of inner stability and calm. This doesn't mean we become unfeeling. On the contrary, an open heart feels everything more deeply, but it is no longer identified with the passing emotional weather. It has the capacity and the resilience to hold both joy and sorrow without being broken by either. This is the source of true strength, a strength that is flexible and enduring, not brittle and reactive. Cultivating this connection requires a specific kind of nourishment. The heart is nourished by qualities like gratitude, kindness, and compassion. You can practice this directly. Take a moment each day to consciously feel gratitude for something simple: the warmth of the sun, the taste of your food, the fact that you are breathing. This simple practice shifts your entire energetic state from one of lack to one of abundance. Practice kindness not as a duty, but as a genuine expression of your own well-wishing for others, and most importantly, practice compassion for yourself. When you make a mistake, when you feel you have failed, treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer to a dear friend. This self-compassion is the medicine that dissolves the walls of self-judgment and fear that have kept your heart imprisoned. As the heart opens, it naturally begins to heal. Its rhythms become more coherent and balanced. The entire body-mind system comes into a state of greater harmony. This is how you save your heart, not by fearing its failure, but by learning to live within its peaceful, powerful, and loving presence. This is the ultimate sanctuary. Daily practice. The understanding we have explored is beautiful, but understanding alone is like a map without a journey. It shows you the destination, but it does not move your feet. The transformation we speak of is not born from intellectual insight, but from embodied, consistent practice. The recipe is not something to be known, but something to be lived. Therefore, the most practical question is, how do we integrate this into the fabric of our daily lives, which are often busy, demanding, and full of distractions? The key is to start small, with actions that are so simple they are almost impossible to refuse. The goal is not to radically overhaul your life overnight, but to introduce small, sustainable shifts that over time will gather a powerful momentum. It is the principle of the small hinge that swings the large door. Do not underestimate the power of a single conscious minute. Begin with the breath. This is the most accessible anchor to the present moment and the most direct tool for influencing your physiological state. You do not need a special cushion or a silent room. You can do this anywhere, 3 times a day, perhaps upon waking, once at midday, and once before sleep. Simply stop what you are doing and take 5 conscious breaths, 5 full, deep inhalations, and 5 long, slow exhalations. As you breathe in, feel the air filling your lungs, your belly expanding. As you breathe out, feel the tension leaving your body, your shoulders dropping. For just these 5 breaths, do nothing else. Be completely present with the sensation of breathing. This practice, taking less than a minute, is a powerful way to interrupt the cycle of stress and autopilot. It is a small act of returning home to yourself, a microdose of stillness that cleanses the mind and calms the nervous system. This is your foundation. Next, bring this mindfulness to a routine activity you already perform every day. Choose one: brushing your teeth, washing the dishes, or drinking your morning tea or coffee. For the duration of that single activity, commit to being fully present. If you are brushing your teeth, feel the bristles on your gums, taste the toothpaste, hear the sound of the brush. If a thought arises, as it will, simply notice it and gently guide your attention back to the physical sensations of the action. This is not about making the task more interesting. It is about training your mind to be where your body is. Most of our anxiety stems from the mind being lost in the past or future. This simple practice of uniting mind and body in a single, mundane task is a powerful training in presence. It transforms a routine chore into an opportunity for meditation and self-awareness. It teaches you that peace is not found in some special state, but is available right here in the midst of your ordinary life. Finally, introduce a practice of intentional gratitude. Before you eat a meal, take just a moment to pause, look at the food on your plate, and consider for just a few seconds everything that had to happen for that food to be there. The sun, the rain, the earth, the farmer who grew it, the person who transported it, the person who prepared it. This is not a religious prayer, but an act of conscious recognition of your profound interconnection with the world. This simple pause shifts your relationship with food from one of mindless consumption to one of mindful nourishment. It cultivates a sense of appreciation that is a direct antidote to the feelings of lack and dissatisfaction that often drive unhealthy habits. A similar practice can be done at the end of the day. Before you sleep, bring to mind 3 things from your day for which you are genuinely grateful. It doesn't matter how small they are. This practice retrains your brain to scan for the positive, creating a more resilient and optimistic mindset. These simple daily actions, conscious breathing, mindful activity, and intentional gratitude are the living embodiment of our recipe. They are the way you peel the layers, cleanse the flow, and return to your heart center one moment at a time. Simple nourishment. In the end, we circle back to where we began, with the humble onion. We have journeyed through the intricate landscape of the mind, the deep chambers of the heart, and the subtle flows of energy within the body. And now we find that the most profound wisdom is often the most simple. The secret recipe is not a secret at all. It is a return to the fundamentals. It is the realization that true health, true vitality, and true peace do not come from adding more complexity to our lives, but from stripping away the non-essential, from letting go of the burdens that we were never meant to carry. It is the courage to embrace simplicity in a world that constantly screams for more. The greatest nourishment is not found in some exotic superfood, but in a simple meal eaten with full attention and gratitude. The most powerful medicine is not a new drug, but a moment of pure, uninterrupted stillness. The greatest protection for your heart is not a complex procedure, but the simple daily practice of kindness toward yourself and toward others. We spend so much of our lives searching for answers outside of ourselves, believing that someone else holds the key to our well-being. We give our power away to experts, to trends, to promises of a quick fix. But the path we have explored here is a path of reclaiming that power. It is the recognition that you are the ultimate authority on your own life. You are the gardener of your own inner landscape. You hold the capacity to cultivate a mind that is clear, a heart that is open, and a body that is vibrant. The tools are already within you. Awareness is your light. Intention is your guide. Patience is your strength. And consistency is the path itself. This is not to dismiss the value of external knowledge or help, but to place it in its proper context. They are supports for your own journey, not a replacement for it. The real work, the deep work, can only be done by you. It is the sacred responsibility and the greatest privilege of being a conscious human being. This journey is not about achieving some perfect, static state of health. Life is, and will always be, a dance of change, of challenge, of imperfection. The goal is not to eliminate all problems, but to cultivate the inner resources to meet those problems with wisdom and grace. It is about building a foundation of inner stability so strong that you can weather any storm. It is about learning to be your own sanctuary, your own source of peace. This is true freedom. It is the freedom from being a victim of your own thoughts, a prisoner of your own emotions, a slave to your own unconscious habits. It is the freedom to live with authenticity, to love with an open heart, and to walk through this world with a sense of groundedness and purpose. This is the health that cannot be measured by any medical test. It is the vitality that shines from within. The truth is, there is no single onion recipe that destroys all ailments. That is the language of illusion. The real recipe is a way of life. It is the moment-to-moment choice to turn inward, to listen deeply, and to nourish your entire being, mind, body, and spirit with the simple, timeless ingredients of presence and compassion. This path is available to you right now, in this very breath. It asks for nothing but your willingness to begin. Let go of the search for miracles outside yourself and begin to uncover the profound, quiet miracle that is already unfolding within. Which layer of the onion do you feel you are peeling back in your own life right now? Your honest reflection might be the light someone else needs to see on their own path.